You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Yo, better late than never. It's only a minute or two, but we are on. We're live. We're alive. I tell you, we're alive as we get into this wonderful episode of DSR2. This debacle we call a podcast as we get into all the debauchery that is sports and just the crazy things that run through our brains. That's how we do shit. So, you know, we're going to be all over the place. We got MLB, of course. We've got NFL, without a doubt. And guess what? The NHL and the NBA are right around the corner. And we haven't even mentioned the NCAA football scenario. So, there is lots to get into. Buckle up, my friends, because Rebels, it's about to get crazy! I would normally go nuts here and do my thing and get into Johnny the Moose, but he's running a little bit late. He will be here shortly, so don't you worry. But you got me, the man, the myth, the legend. No, not really. I'm just a dude that makes belts and talks trash on the internet. Welcome to DSR2. I am Scrappy. Johnny the Moose will be here shortly. He's just running late. I assume he's got things going on with the girls and sports related stuff or day job related stuff. Guys, we have day jobs. Newsflash. Breaking news. We just kind of do this for the fun of it. So welcome all to DSR2. Like I mentioned in the open, there is plenty to get in on. Like, I mean, I it's messing with my head, really, to be quite honest with you, because, and guys, I'll get the social media and the text line, and we'll get all that info going. We'll get you guys in here in a minute. But I just can't believe that hockey and basketball, they're already preseason games, and it's already happening. It's right here. It's like with COVID kind of shifting everything around, it's been the last, okay, so we went how many months without any sports, right? We had like nothing, and we were just striving for anything. I remember I was like I was like watching drone racing, cornhole, and shit like that. Like just anything to you know, kind of supplement the fact that there was no sports when COVID first hit. And then since we've kind of figured things out, sorta, if that's what you want to call it. Of course, we've documented our stance on the whole COVID situation in each particular sport, but it's since then, now sports have been so like off kilter that it feels like they're never stopping. Like there's never an off season for anything anymore. They're coming around so quick. And I know we don't really get into the NBA until like December, but I just can't believe that everything's like right here, right on the tails. And we're just starting to get warmed up with the NFL. And it just seems like with all this COVID stuff, it's been sport. And I'm not complaining whatsoever. I'm actually kind of just loving it and soaking it up. So like I said, plenty of stuff to get into today. There's some moves in the NFL. Now, I don't want to get too crazy into a lot of this stuff because Moose is going to be here shortly, and I want him to be here when we tackle some of these trades and some of the stuff that's kind of going on in the NFL. Same thing with the NCAA. So we're going to kind of pussyfoot around a little bit. We're going to recap the NFL like we normally do here on the on the whip around. But guys, get in on the conversation. Help me out. Keep me from choking. I need someone to carry the show while Johnny the Moose isn't here, guys. We are on social media, Studio 57 Radio across the board. You can hit us up on Facebook, YouTube, Spreaker, TuneIn, Stitcher, all the fun stuff. Studio57radio.com. And, of course, if you want to be anonymous or you just want to be right here all up in my DMs, because it's like right here. It's like right all up in my 313-307-5340 is our text line. Get in on the conversation. If you don't want to leave a handle or name, I'll shout out your area code and we'll rep your city that way. It's all good. I just love to have some conversation. So, Detroit Sports Radio Rebels, of course, we're Detroit centric, and I could get into the Lions debacle, all my Detroit fans. I could totally get into it, but you know what I could also do? I could just play the same clip that we crunched down for like the best of DSR2 at some point from like 3 years ago, okay? And it would be the same damn rant that I'd have right now. And all the stuff that I've been saying forever and ever and a day, every single time we're on the show and we talk about the Lions, I say the same things, the same exact things. It's funny now that other cats are starting to get hip to the game. Like, I'm talking to cats in other parts of the country and they're like, oh yeah. They're finally realizing that it's an ownership issue. And it's like, now we've been understanding it's an ownership issue for 5 decades. Like we're up to here with this. And so, this was a microcosm. This game was a microcosm of what they kind of are. And it's, you guys with the, to me, they're bad. They could easily go 0-16 or 0-17 or 1-17 or 2-15 or something like that. They could really crap the bed simply. I mean, it's just super obvious. But they could win a few games. But what's the point at this point? Get a better pick. To me, I trade off any asset you have for equity, because I don't want to hear the conversation about oh, let's keep TJ Hawkinson. He's fun to watch. Let's keep Swift because he's playing well. The issue with keeping those guys is by the time you get a team around them, they're going to be past their rookie deal. They're going to command a higher salary that you can't afford. It will cripple you when it comes to moving forward and building this team. How you're successful in the NFL is it's kind of simple. Free agency is used to get you over the hump, but you build your foundation through the draft. Okay, so what you do is what you need to do is you need to get as many of your skilled position players all together on rookie contracts within a year or two of each other, which means you have to draft well back to back, 2-3 years in a row. You got to draft real well and get these rookies in there. Then if you got these rookies that are performing really well under their rookie contract, then you can start, filling in with veterans. If the team is contending, you can go and maybe take some draft capital that you've collected and some cash and maybe a trade, and you can make a move in free agency or whatever to bring in somebody that gets you over the hump and you can win a championship or whatever. Those are like the steps to going about this. And so the Lions just need to get rid of those guys, because just like Calvin and just like Barry and just like any other skilled player that they've had here, even Stafford, you've had 10 years of these cats' careers and you couldn't get it done and then the little window you kind of did have, you blew it. And then now it just, I just don't get it, man. So it doesn't work. I get it. From a fan standpoint, I get it. If you're going to watch a crappy game, a crappy team, at least give you something entertaining, something to watch about that crappy team. But I got news for you. You have to bottom out before you can ever climb out of the hole. If you're just always kind of floating around the bottom, you'll just always float around the bottom, and it's just not going to. I don't know if I'm a Lions fan, I'm done. I don't want to see that anymore. I would like home team to be good just so I can say, hey, when I turn on the TV, it's worth watching home team. I haven't watched home team since Ndamukong Suh and them guys were here, and it was a debacle, but at least they were fairly competitive. And really, to be honest, my kids were just into the team and watching, so it was a quality bonding moment for me, and that's the only reason I was watching. Other than that, I quit watching the Lions when I was 13. I mean, because they've just been the same thing. I don't want to say that because it was probably a little older than that because the Utley situation and all that. So, but once Barry left, it was hard. And yeah, I enjoyed watching Calvin and stuff like that, but I just wasn't invested in him quite the same with Calvin as I was when we had Barry and before. But it's just like, how much of that can you do before you pull your hair out? And as you can see, we already know how much I can do. So, but there. Oh, so Midgie the cat just jumped up on the table, and she is going to fill in for Johnny the Moose. So everybody, Midgie the cat. Midgie, what is your take on the Lions situation? Go ahead. Go ahead. You can say something. I know you'll talk. You can talk. You talk all the time. You never shut up. Go on. Now you're on. You're on camera. Everybody's watching you. You're the center of attention like you always want to be. That's why you're up here. Got nothing to say? Nothing to say. I'm wasting 5 minutes of the people's time on a cat. Nothing? Try again? No? No? Okay, the microphone gets the butt. Well, then there you go. Everybody gets the cat ass, and that's how it works. But that's basically what you got when you watched the Lions game. It was ass. It was ass. So I don't know. I don't know even what to say. There's nothing. There's no assessing that game. There's no breaking that stuff down. It is what it is. The coach is what I said he was. It's only going to get worse. This and guys are even talking. And if you're in the groups, guys, I already know. I hear you in the Facebook groups. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. You can't believe it. Da 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 da. People are just finally getting. I feel like they finally listened to our podcast for the first time. Like last week or the week before. And this is what you're going to hear all year long out of the Lions. That's the Lions. That's their theme music every single time. Because they're horrible. They're horrible. It's a clown show. It's a circus. So I don't even want to break that game down. So we'll keep it moving and we'll get into some of these other games. And, of course, the Urban Meyer situation. There's no doubt we're going to get into the Urban Meyer situation, so pump the brakes. I already see you in the text. I haven't even gotten on the Facebook yet, but I already seen you in the text. We're going to get to Urban Meyer. Moose is coming. He's on his way, and we'll get into the Urban Meyer thing. But, you know, that's I love it because it's content. We could do a whole show on Urban Meyer and booty dancing. It would be great. I could make a bunch of crazy drops. We could just have a blast with that. But we'll wait for Moose to get here, and we'll clown around with it. Game of the week. You know, there's some big-time surprises, I'll tell you that. You know, I think going into the week, people were looking at the Bucks the Bucks Patriots game. Tom Brady going back to New England. So I guess we can start there. It's, you know, does it live up to the hype? Probably not. I mean, not that it really could ever. But it was a fairly interesting game as far as there was plenty of storylines there and plenty of reasons to watch. But ultimately, a pedestrian outing as far as a game to visually take in from a fan standpoint. How about that? Try to word this as, you know, properly as possible. And so I just, man, I don't know. I get why, you know, when he's at Brady, the GOAT, the whole 9 yards, you know, but going back home and it's so long he was there and the Belichick situation and oh shit, all hell broke loose. So Moosey's here. So I get why there's all this hubbub around it. But I mean, this is as pedestrian as it gets. 22 for 43, 269, no touchdowns. No touchdowns. Got sacked. That's the GOAT. That's the GOAT. Now Fournette got some yards on the ground, and with the weather, that's kind of how things work. But uber pedestrian. At least you saw a little bit something from Mac Jones, potentially if you're a Patriots fan. But yeah, I don't know. To me it was just underwhelming, and I kind of expected it, to be quite honest. So as Moose rolls up in here finally, nice of you to join us, part timer. Just messing with you. Get yourself comfy. Don't worry about your mic yet. Shoo the kitty. She had a chance to take your job and she wouldn't say nothing. Right, so she's gone.
Bye.
Go on. She's like, no, I'm not leaving. You might have to pick her up and put her on the floor. She's like, no, I'm gonna go over here. I'm a stubborn cat, and I want to be the center of attention. She sees herself in the monitor, and she sees us in the monitor, and so she likes TV. She likes TV. So anyway, Moose, I didn't get too far into anything because there's so much to talk about, and I know you don't want to miss out on some of this stuff, but I basically summed up the Lions game by just playing the clown music like we always do, and to just tell them if they don't know our take on the situation, or you think that you need to hear our take on the situation, you can just go back to the best of DSR2 from like 2010 and hear the same exact rant for the same exact reasons, for the same exact problems back then. So cut, copy, and paste. So we killed that just because as far as matchups go, games this week, I didn't even want to talk about that game. It wasn't even worth it. So we just got over the Lions thing and killed that. Of course, everybody wants to get in on the Urban Meyer, but I've been pushing that off until you get here because
Chicka bow wow.
We could do a whole show on that. We already know that. We could do an entire show on just that. So I put that off. But I just was getting into the Patriots Bucks because I think that was the most anticipated game going into the weekend, from a storyline standpoint at least. And to me, Moose, it was about as underwhelming as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
You had the weather kind of roll in, and I didn't think anybody was going to take any major risks because either way, from a coaching standpoint from Belichick or from a play standpoint from Brady, I didn't think they were going to give us anything really as far as fodder. They're not going to say much and give us anything. So it was what I thought it would be, and it was pretty underwhelming. And that's basically when you came down the stairs and saved me before we had to get into some of these other games. But I did want to try to keep it warm for you, but not get into all the juicy stuff till you got here, Moose, because there's no way if I just would have went off of what I'm getting in the text line. I haven't even gotten onto Facebook yet because I've been rolling solo here. I would be already into the Urban Meyer rant, and we're just going to wait. And I just wanted to wait till you got here because that's just too silly to me.
Oh, my God. I mean, you talk about, and again, of course, now he's hiding out in Columbus and that, so he's not even in Jacksonville. Again, his explanation was just totally freaking bullshit. He throws everybody under the bus but him.
Yes.
That's how Urban works.
Exactly.
It's not my fault. I was minding my own business. I was out to dinner with my family. And all of a sudden he wanted a photo op. And the next thing you know, he's getting a lap dance.
Yes. I know. The next thing he knows,
looked very comfortable getting the lap dance from her, too.
Yes, the next thing he knew. Oh, she was just playing. She was just trying to get me to dance.
Yeah, where were those hands? They were groping that ass.
Yeah, you were all grabbing on that booty. Oh, man. Yeah. It's just funny. It's like he's got the syndrome that he's never gonna get. I don't know how you correct it, but when you're the top of the food chain in college sports, especially on campus, like you have this air of invincibility, like this shield around you. When it comes to players, when it comes to the media, when it comes to just all kinds of stuff. What did he think was going to happen now? Like the NFL is a different monster.
Oh yeah.
Like you're not the boss of anybody really. And so like your coaching style's got to change. How you deal with yourself in your personal life in out in the public has got to change. Like there is no sheltering the coach because he's almighty and wields the biggest sword he makes more money than anybody in the state. No matter what state you live in, if Urban Meyer is the coach of your university, he makes more than anybody in your fucking state.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, when you're the biggest dude on campus, like, literally, not now. Now he's not.
No.
Things are different here now, buddy. Very different here now, buddy. Very
It
different.
is, and again, it's going to be epically flaming out of control here on it again because he's already basically, his assistant coaches can't stand him because he's sanctimonious.
Right.
His players can't stand him because he's so disinterested. He's like, I can just come in and do whatever I want.
Dude, this is the thing. You don't come into the NFL and tell any of these dudes anything.
No.
You ask them, you suggest, and you help. If they don't want to get on board, you trade them.
Right.
You cut them. You do whatever. You don't go in there and start demanding this, that, and the other, and then walking around talking about do as I say, not as I do. That shit don't fly.
And again, he doesn't have a squeaky clean track record.
No. Not even close.
No, he is so far from. I mean, the
mean-
only thing he ran squeaky clean maybe have been Utah because it was Utah.
Well, that just nobody saw nothing. If a tree fell in the woods and there's nobody there to hear
And he
it.
wasn't there long enough on it. And of course, he had a choir boy, a quarterback with Alex Smith.
Right. Canada Mike's checking in on the
He
social
goes
media.
to Florida, essentially runs a freaking gang or a
Right.
prison. I mean, it's like watching Oz, and it's his teammates or all the inmates.
Canada Mike checks in on social media, is updating us on the baseball game. St. Louis is up on the Dodgers 1-0 in the first inning.
Yep.
And Canada Mike is not happy. But thank you for the updates. And guys, if you want to follow social media, Canada Mike is our international correspondent there. He will be updating scores and such of games during the show and keeping you rolling. He's even in on the CFL if you want to know the score between the Ottawa Red Blacks, whatever the hell a Red Black is, and the Toronto Argonauts.
Was that like a team they changed the name from Rough Riders because they got like 3 teams named Rough Riders? To, what, Red Blacks?
I don't even know what that even means. Maybe it's a typo. I don't even know. But if you want to know the scores, go to our social media, follow, get on the Facebook feed, and Canada Mike is always updating scores and such and plays and such. So we'll spit them out as he gives them to us too. But that's a good place to stay in touch. And you guys can get in on the conversation. And Canada Mike's cool, and you can chat with him and us. It's all fun. It's all interactive. It's all cool. It's only here on DSR2.
Yes. I think this thing's going to just keep spiraling on because they're not winning, they're losing, and I don't see them winning, especially this week either. This thing's going to spiral out. Shere Khan basically doesn't want to fire him because he doesn't want to pay him this freaking $20 million bonus guaranteed or whatever. It's like he's hoping he just quits and just walks away, and they're good. I don't have to pay him.
Right.
If I have to fire him again, if they lose miserably and they lose every game this season. Then they may just say, you know what, I'll eat the money on there. I'm a billionaire anyways. Cut bait. Because they're on the pace right now. Is if they've already lost 19 games in a row total.
Well, this is the whole thing. Is like, what do you ultimately start losing? Like this, how far can you let it spiral out of control before you just cut your losses, right? Like, if you got like a brand new refrigerator, right? You got one of those like $5,000 models, right? Where it's like Wi-Fi everything. You got like an app that runs your refrigerator. You can like look inside and see the camera, and you can see what's in your fridge, and it does. You know what I'm talking about? You get one of these crazy multi-$1,000 appliances. Okay, let's say you get that thing, and you love that thing, and you're totally all in, and you're sold on it, and you spent your money and you love it now, and you're broke because of it now. The thing starts malfunctioning, freaking out, spitting ice cubes everywhere. It catches on fire, and it starts burning the effing house down. Like, how long do you let that sucker burn? Or how long do you try to save it before you just get rid of it?
Yeah.
Like, before you get that thing out of there and it burns the whole house down. Because this guy could essentially burn the whole house down very quickly. He's like a grease fire.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it could just, like, take off and spread without it. I mean, and look, already.
We're 4 games into his first year, and it's just basically already
9 months on the job.
Yeah.
Think about that in just a regular old work day. Like a regular old work life. You're just Bob the Builder. and you've been at your new job for 9 months, and you got all this baggage, whatever it is, your old lady calling all the time, you got a drug problem or an alcohol problem or a gambling problem, you're always late to work, your car is always breaking down, you're always calling in sick. Like, that's what this is. You couldn't have that kind of drama for it in your first, year and maintain your job anywhere. This is like crazy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you look on there. I mean, they've got Tennessee this week, and again, Tennessee's already dysfunctional enough already as it is, and then they got Miami. Again, Miami's having some issues already. That's the game over in London, and then they got the bye week.
Yeah, but how many games are you winning that makes that go away? Moose, you could win out in it. I don't know if it makes it go away.
I think right now
you'd almost have to win out.
Oh, he has to win out, but
you're not going to win out. They can't win not out.
You know what I see they may just cut bait the bye week after they lose to Miami and over in.
I mean,
London.
if they have 0 wins at that point, then what do you do? I think the only reason he's around is because they're looking for an out on his effing contract.
Right, that's what they're doing. They're trying to figure out what can we make sure
that we don't have to pay him.
We don't have to pay him.
Yeah,
that's why they're hoping he resigns.
Right.
But yeah, after the bye week, they've got Seattle, Buffalo, Indianapolis, and Frisco. Those are 4 losses. Then you got Atlanta. Then you got the Rams, Tennessee again, Houston, another dysfunctional, and then they got the Jets. Yeah, I mean, they're conceivably they could go 0 under. They could break the all-time futility record for most consecutive losses.
Oh yeah, I think they will do that, and they could easily be go over in the first 17 game season.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right. And if they go over and he's gone in, they're going to just jettison him. They'll bite the bullet under. But yeah, you're ruining your franchise quarterback, and it's the first year. Dude, he's going to ruin this kid before he even has a chance to come out there.
I know.
They've got talent on offense. They got, they need help on defense. He's just not the right coach. And again, college coaches coming to the NFL, they don't always succeed. Pete Carroll was one of those, but Pete Carroll also had a shot at pros, went to college, came back.
Well, he came to the pros, shit the bed because of his style, went to college, came back, and almost did it again. He had to kind of change on the fly when he came to Seattle. And what he did is the guys that he pissed off, he moved out, brought in young talent, and then he slowly kind of swerved over to the hip cool guy that has made that team successful. And so it took him a minute, and he almost boo-fooed it again.
Right.
And so these guys,
he got a quarterback. He got a franchise quarterback in the 3rd round.
Well, you know what he did? He got a staff around him that said, "Hey, dude, pump the brakes. We're not doing this again. Right. Like, you know what you did last time, and it didn't work."
Right. He got a crew on there of assistant coaches. Basically, were on there. They got lucky because they had a great secondary, great linebackers, and he got a freaking stud of a running back with Marshawn Lynch. And then he got lucky with Russell Wilson.
I was about to say, and we know Russell Wilson was going to be a solid quarterback, but we didn't know he was going to be as good as he was, I don't think. And, when you get a guy like that, and you didn't pay him for a long time, you got him on the cheap, and that's why. And I was talking about it earlier, Moose, with the Lions scenario. That's why the Seattle was successful and was able to contend and be in those Super Bowls and win one, because they had a quarterback on a rookie contract. They had a whole defense they were paying very little for the output they were getting.
Right.
And so you have to draft well consecutively, sign young talent, and then you have to kind of balance that and get yourself good enough that you can just go to free agency with maybe some of your draft capital or a trade or some money or whatever you got to do, and bring in that one free agent that gets you over the hump. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the standard building blocks, that kind of way to do that. And so sitting on talent when you don't have anything around them doesn't make sense. Yeah. We do it here in Detroit. We ruin some of the greatest players in the history of the sport because we don't get anything around them. And so, like in the Lions scenario with Hockenson and Swift, move them. Move them while they're worth something. You got nothing else. If you think you're going to keep them around here and build around them, you're batshit fucking crazy. By the time that you get any talent in this goddamn team, they will be past their rookie contract. You cannot pay them both. You're sure not paying the running back.
No, I'm not paying a running back up from your contract.
And so And so what? So what are we talking about here? So when you're a team like that and you're in that situation, get the draft capital, because what you want to do is you want to have 2 or 3 years where you got 4 and 5 picks, where you got 2 and 3 first round picks in 2 or 3 of those years, and then you want to make sure you draft well and get these guys signed. And then if you get a good team and you got a good coach and you got a good foundation in there, then you can sign a free agent, you can get over the hump and win some playoff games, whatever the case may be. But sitting on guys that, 2 guys that have skills when they're around a bunch of burning, cargo, it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, again, I do agree in some extent on there, because again, our receiving core is freaking terrible on there, other than Hawkinson on there. And again, a tight end is kind of a luxury pick on there. So I do on there. I mean, the only guys I want to keep around and pay them on there are the offensive linemen, because these guys are good on there. So Ragnow, you got to keep Ragnow.
Sure.
When he goes back, Decker, try to get rid of Decker, because you're already paying him on there. You've got your left tackle of the future. Try to see what you can get. You can get a first rounder. It might be a late first rounder for Decker, but you're going to still get a first rounder, because he is still a really good left tackle. He's just not. I think Sewell has a higher ceiling than I think Decker's ceiling is already there,
all right,
which is really good. But I think Sewell's is getting potential a lot better wise. But yeah, this team is such a dumpster fire. But again, and they don't have any talent, but I can't blame that on the current general manager, because he walked in here and was like,
no, well, I'm going to blame it on the last one. They didn't go 0-16, but they did almost as much damage as the Millen era.
They did probably more so on there, because we actually had some talent than
right.
Millen did. Millen didn't have any talent,
right.
on there, but he just wrecked on there. But Quinn Trisha just basically ran and getting on there. They just said, fine, we'll eat this out. The dead pack cap, Jamie Collins, bye. Hit the road. We don't need you under. And guess who he signs today with? New England. Fine, good. Bye. I mean, on there, I wouldn't sign it. I mean, Jamie, I didn't like the signing anyways to begin with. I'm like, dude's only been good at one freaking team. You signed a big contract with Cleveland. They couldn't wait to get rid of him as soon as they could afford to. We signed him. It's like, it wasn't a long term, but it's like, dude, what the hell? Linebacker wise, I want guys that can run like deer.
Right.
On there. I mean, I would say is go after Jalen Smith. But again, it's going to cost you too much money. Forget it. Let's go with that on there.
Well, like I said, if you're going to build a team where you're going to have, some longevity when it comes to, playoff runs or anything like that, you're going to do it solely through the draft. You're only going to accent it with free agents. Look at all the. You could even go as far back as like the Cowboys dynasty in the '90s, where they drafted a good portion of that team, and they had a ton of all-stars on that team.
That Cowboys dynasty of the '90s was created because Minnesota overpaid for Herschel Walker.
Right.
They built the dynasty of the Cowboys.
Sure. And then but if you look at those drafts, how many people fell to the Cowboys as well throughout those few years there? Like, it's amazing. There's also some luck involved, we know.
Too, is they had a great coach, Jimmy Johnson.
I was about to go there.
Jimmy built
Johnson.
that team, and again, and you look when basically is Jerry couldn't handle Jimmy getting all the accolades. Well, I own the team. Why am I? Because you didn't build the team.
Right.
Jimmy built the team. So he gets rid of Jimmy, and they win one. But that was with all Jimmy's boys.
Yeah. You
haven't won since then.
Right.
You've won one play or like 2 playoff games in 25 years.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's going to be another thing we'll get into with the
Dallas
Cowboys this year.
Had great defense, and they had freaking the best offensive line in football probably ever.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of my point. These teams that have extended runs and win championships, plural, that's how they do it though. They draft well, and then they make that trade that changes the complexion, that gets them over that hump, and that's just one of 1,000,001 examples. I mean, I think that is probably the more common way. It's not that you can't go through free agency, but even the teams that have gone through free agency and they've made a splash with getting a few players, they've always kind of had that core base of lower salaried players there already that have been there, and they've been able to make that work. Whether cats take deferred money or do signing bonuses and different things to make shit work and whatever. So I just think that's the way. And so, but sitting on talent when you don't have anything to build around them, it doesn't really make any sense.
You can pretty much go to every Super Bowl winner, and the constant is they all had really good offensive lines and pretty good defenses.
Right. And so, to me, especially particular in the Lions case, it's just consistency for me. I don't know how many times we sat here and said a tight end is a luxury. You need to get some other things in place first. And yes, a tight end can be a great outlet for your quarterback. And then we've also said the very same thing about running backs. You're not paying them into their second contract and giving them big money because that never works out for you. And then retreads don't either. And so, like, I can't sit here and say that when those are your only two assets, that you're going to try to quote unquote build around. It doesn't make sense. Get something while they're worth something, build that equity, go out there and build the team proper. If you make those kind of moves, then I'll stop playing the fucking clown music. But they don't do that kind of shit. They talk about biting off kneecaps and then they bite their own off.
Right.
So I'm done. I'm done with all that. So we're cueing the clown music every time we get into the Lions, and that's the thing. And so, like I said, there's certain teams out there that are going to have to build. And even if Houston or any of these other teams that are just running themselves into the ground ever have any hope of a rebuilding, they're going to have to do the same thing. They're going to have to take what talent and equity they have and get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? Why do you think they're sitting on Deshaun Watson so hard?
Well, here locally, either you trade everybody off, or there's a clowns like, we need to make a trade for Deshaun Watson. I'm not trading for Deshaun Watson if I even have to give a 7th round pick, because I'm not doing it because I would say 90% chances his career is over.
Yeah, I'm not playing. I'm not even going.
There's again, forget that. I think the guy's got all the talent, but dude, no.
Check it. This falls into the Michael Vick situation.
This is worse. I mean, this is
almost,
I would say it's
when I'm talking about from a football standpoint, I'm not talking about from a moral standpoint.
No, but from
a football standpoint, it's like that because if he does his penance, goes to jail, does whatever, gets out, and still has athletic ability, still is an asset. He still wants to turn his life around. He looks like then you can have an Andy Reid moment and maybe potentially, but that's not. What is that? How does a team that is completely that's completely decimated, how does that help them? Holy shit, Fish is in AEW. When the fuck did Fish get to AEW? They didn't make any noise about that. Okay, sorry.
Unless we missed something.
Yeah, I don't know. And he's got a title shot against the Young Buck. I mean, he's gonna lose. He's gonna have to job to him, but
anyway. I mean, the whole thing getting again, Deshaun. No, I'm not going there on that. No, they just even the optical is just no way.
Yeah, no. Well, that's the other thing. The PR hit is you can't spin that, and then it's just not even worth it, man. So yeah, you sit back, and if 10 years down the road, or 8 years down the road, or 6 years down the road, it all goes away, and he can play in the league still, then, and you're a team that can take the hit because you've done everything right for so long, then maybe you can try to bring a guy in like that.
Yeah, but
Andy Reid did it with Vic.
His late 30s. I mean, it's on.
Well, Vic went to jail for 5 years or something
3
like that.
years.
So, but I mean, if he's out of the league for 5 years and comes back and plays like Vic, then you can have that.
Well, his skill set is way better than Vic's. I mean, he was a potential MVP candidate there. But yeah, this whole thing on there is just no way. I mean,
but in real time, any team's crazy to touch them, especially our local team here. That's batshit insanity. Anybody that's talking that is just. They just like to hear themselves talk.
Oh, yeah. And that's the whole thing, too, is on there. And I know the Lions played terrible and they deserve to lose on there. But, oh, my God. See, we should have took Justin Fields. Look at him. He wasn't lighting us up.
No.
I mean, again, 10 out of 16 for like 206 and an interception. All right, he really didn't run for a lot of yards, so he didn't kill us that way. He had no touchdown passes. He didn't run for any touchdown. How did he light us up there, clowns?
My whole thing is, what do you think he's going to do here?
Right. Again, trust me, Chicago is, I mean, now they're going to start him the rest of the season because Nagy's playing for, basically, he needs to keep his
Well,
job.
Nagy fired himself from making the calls, calling the plays. So
Yeah.
that was the smartest thing he ever did.
Right.
He handed that shit over. So let's see how that plays out. That might save his job. I don't know.
No.
Well, if they could put some shit together, it will.
And
You
then
know how that
again, in
goes.
10 years, or again, probably 6 years, they're going to be out in the suburbs anyway, so.
We'll see.
But yeah, I mean, we looked at a lot of it on there. And again, it's just, you look on there, you look at the records and everything with it, and there's like, it could be, again, this season on both sides could be a free-for-all. It's hard to pick out who's on there right now. And I mean, Kansas City's bottom of the West at 2-2.
I know.
But again, it's all said and done. I think it's still like Kansas City out of the West. Chargers-wise, I mean, Denver's playing great with defense-wise on there. Derek Carr right now is probably playing like an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he's playing. And the Chargers, so again, right now, a quarter way through the season, there ain't no sophomore slump for Justin Herbert.
Not so far, and that's my thing, man. If he stays healthy and he gets through the season without that slump, then you know you got.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Burrows, right? We got to see the same thing with
You
Burrows.
come on there, it's like those are the two best those will be the two best quarterbacks out of that draft.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, if you look at the age of the quarterbacks and who's coming in, yeah, a lot of these guys aren't going to stay starters or may not pan out, but you're still going to get quite a few like long-term, high-quality quarterbacks. Now, next draft, I don't think we're going to see anything, but
No,
but are
this
you?
won't be not be a stellar draft. for a
Yeah,
quarterback.
but the young bucks we got this time through and last time through, we got some good ones. It's just a matter of getting
Right.
there. It's the same thing like we were talking about. As long as they don't destroy Trevor Lawrence, he's going to be another one.
Right.
So, but anyway,
But yeah, I mean, we look at Detroit; they're terrible. I mean, Pittsburgh, they made a mistake. They should have drafted a quarterback on there because Roethlisberger looks like 170 years old back there.
yeah, I agree they
He
should
is
have,
literally-
but I don't. I agree that they should have. I just don't know. I just don't know if they drafted somebody, you could just throw him in the fire. I mean, doesn't have any protection. He's getting crushed. So I think you end up playing Ben anyway. But you're right. They should have a quarterback in the wait.
Yeah.
And next draft, they could
should
have
have
nobody.
drafted a running back, and they should have drafted an offensive lineman in the first pick.
Well, I think they should have I think they should have pulled the trigger on a quarterback because there isn't one next year.
Yeah.
And then what are you going to do? Wait till the year after, and then it'll be 2 years. So you're going to wait 3 years before you get an effective quarter. I mean, you can't
They
do
should
that.
have been planning this out 5 years
Right.
ago.
So with
realistically.
the way Ben was and how injured and what you had to deal with all the other bullshit, they should have known. They should have known to go out and get a quarterback this year. And yes, you're right. And then next year, if you have to, even just stock up on offensive line.
Right.
You know,
That
because
offensive line is
it's terrible. And so I think you just have to have a little foresight and understand that this draft's got all the quarterbacks. Next year doesn't have as much. Hopefully the year after that things will get a little better, but that's too hard to see that far into the future sometimes with these kids. So yeah, I mean, they should have, and from that organization it's surprising because they always seem to be very
Right. Always on top of everything, yeah.
whatever. You know, and they don't have a Cordell Stewart that's going to come in and bail them out for 4 years or whatever.
No.
So, I
mean,
know.
you look at that on your Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati. Again, they all are playing pretty good defenses on there. And again, they all seem to run the ball pretty good. But that's the thing in Cincinnati is they're running the ball a lot better than they have in the past, so that helps Burrows out.
Sure.
And again, they take Jamar Chase, and everybody's like, oh, look at it. He's a terrible. It's going to be a bust. And then regular season comes by, and it's like, oh, shit. Yeah.
Right.
Preseason doesn't mean shit what he does on there. He's got the chemistry already with JoJo because they were
Right.
playing together in college. And again, look at the skill set that he had. He was definitely the best receiver out of that class coming out. Right. He just didn't play last year, and it takes time to get back into football shape after a year off. Yeah, I don't care if he kept. He's probably kept himself in great shape.
Oh yeah, football
but it's not
shape.
Football shape.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's the moves you're doing, it's the contact that you're having, it's all those different things. It's just not. It's not the same. They'll tell you because the rate of recovery, right? That's the other part of it. You know, you got to try to recover and before the next game, and it's hard. Like, think about it, Moose. Like, if you bump yourself pretty good, you could be hurting for a few weeks on for whatever reason, but you got to play a game and go out there and do the same thing that got you hurt, and then you know what I mean, and then go out there and do the same thing that got you hurt. So these guys are like almost always hurt. You almost have to define hurt as like, yeah, I'm hurt, but like I'm not playing. I'm not bad enough to not play, but yeah, these guys here, man. And it's the same thing. You've got, you know, if you don't need to play somebody that's got a tweaked ankle or whatever, then, you know.
Yeah. You look out there, and again, like, you know, we got here out in the NFC West, you got Arizona, the Rams, Seattle, and Frisco. That might be, again, but that and the AFC West are probably the best two divisions on there because you got the AFC has three teams at 3-1, one at 2-2. Same thing in the NFC. You got a 4-0, 3-1, 2-2, 2-2. Who'd have thought Arizona would be playing the way they are?
Yeah, I wonder how long. This is my thing. How long are they going to keep that up for? Because like this is it's not an Arizona centric thing. It's just a trend I've kind of noticed. When you're like that, this hot, this early, you burn out, right? Like how many teams? Like I'm not saying they won't make it into the playoffs or anything. I'm sure they will. But then, like, how many flame out? Like, it's really hard to I mean, even if you look at the Patriots, that undefeated team ultimately couldn't finish it. And so I want to see how long they can get. I don't think they can put it together that long.
I don't think.
So how long can they?
I think the one thing, the difference between this year and last year is Kyler Murray has got more weapons, so he's spreading the ball around.
Yes.
He doesn't have to just zone in on DeAndre Hopkins. He can basically pass around. Christian Kirk has taken a step up this year. AJ Green seems to find a fountain of youth now.
Well, I tend to agree with that whole sentiment because you're stretching the field now, and it's making his running so much more effective.
Right.
So because he doesn't have to run so much, and he can fling it downfield, and you're stretching the field, so now everybody's dropping back, and he could survey the field. He sees it better, and then I know everybody's like, man, he just looks faster this year, but it's because, well, part of it is the game slowing down around him, but I think a really big part of that, Moose, is the fact that you're able to stretch the field, and he's able to run freely. These guys can't get the angle on him because he could see better, and he's under, and he's plus running.
I think
more space.
Them drafting Rondale Moore is like kind of like that safety valve. He doesn't have to run all the time.
Right.
He can run out there and say, "Oh, there's a little guy." Boom, and then Rondale Moore basically these little screen passes. Boom, he's getting basically essentially running plays out there.
Right.
But it's as a receiver, so that basically you're keeping your quarterback from getting hit.
Right. Well, and it's not all dissimilar from what he ran in college, right? No, it's an RPO type of situation. Yeah.
He just has more weapons to throw to out there. I mean, you got there is like, and nobody's really lighting it up receiver wise with the receivers wise but you got AJ Green's got 248 yards, Christian Kirk's got 244, DeAndre Hopkins got 225, Rondale Moore's got 211, Max Williams at tight end's got 179, and Emmons. I wonder, you're spreading the ball out. He's running the RPO spread offense that basically they got all the weapons in place in that, and he's able to basically spread it out. And he's like, okay, I'm not getting hits and everything with it. And again, Chase Edmonds is definitely an upgrade, full-time running back than was last year with Kenyon Drake out there.
All right.
And again, you got James Conner, who could take the beating of between the tackles. So when you need that short yardage run on there and get that, you're 31, 32, boom, hand it off to Conner, he gets you your first down.
Yeah.
Instead of letting Kyler Murray try to sneak through there and steal it out himself, he's not taking the hits in it.
All right.
I don't know if the defense is going to hold up.
Bam! Thank you for reading my mind on that because I was going to go there with this. that's going to be, I think, the sticking point for them this year. Can they can the defense hold it together? I mean, that's going to be the difference between the teams at the top. Who's playing the best defense?
Right.
Because ultimately they may be playing different schemes, but all these teams at the top are producing, and so you got to stop it. A race to the finish is not how you want to roll, and then it's anybody's game. So in the end, it's going to be about who gets the last stop. I feel like when you start getting to those playoff teams, all those top teams in the league, and so that would be my one concern with Arizona is kind of their defense. But the war of attrition is a big deal throughout the league, and as it tells the story almost every year, they're more susceptible or more so than a lot of these teams at the top. So we'll see what happens as it goes forward. But as we know, any given Sunday, and Thursday and Monday and Sunday mornings and any other days, Saturdays occasionally. Oh, okay, sorry.
Right, yeah, because if we look at that, I mean, Dallas is, look, Dallas back. I'm not buying Dallas.
I'm still not buying Dallas. But you know what? When I look at it, I'm just really not sure why. I don't know if I don't believe, but Dak. Maybe I'm not thinking Dak's he's gonna fall back to what he was, but he does seems to be fine.
Well, they're running the ball more than they're throwing it.
Yes, and they're running it without Zeke, so now Zeke feels like he's got to run a little harder. So. You're getting a little bit more production out of him.
Yeah, you're getting Zeke and Tony Pollard. I mean, Zeke's averaging 5.3 yards per carry, which is huge.
Yep.
But Tony Pollard's averaging 6.8 yards per carry.
Yeah.
So Dak doesn't have to run. I mean, he's only got 1,066. He's barely hitting 266 yards passing.
So I just feel like
with all the talent they have at receiver, they're basically saying, yeah, we're going to run the ball, play ball control, and go from there. I mean, believe it or not. I mean, they got the weapons on offense, but they're like, no, we're just going to grind it out a little bit more and try running it. And especially in the red zone, they're not throwing it at all in the red zone.
All right.
But I'm still not buying into the down there. I think the offensive line is still thin, and they did come 1 or 2 injuries, and they're screwed. Defense-wise is really thin.
All right.
I'm not buying it. Again, I don't know if I mean really. I mean, I say it's Tampa Bay and pretty much everybody out in the West. And that's it. I mean, I'm not buying Green Bay.
Right.
I'm definitely not buying anybody out of the East. I'm not buying anybody else in the Central and that. In the South, it's Tampa.
Yeah.
Carolina's great and everything. At 3-1, they got a good defense. Now they got Stephon Gilmore.
Oh, yeah, that'll be nice.
Again.
But, I think Brady does this on purpose. Like, he knew where he was going. He knew that division wasn't going to be all that.
Of course he did.
And
plus, they got a better. Again, they've got a great coaching staff.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things, man. Not surprising. Not surprising. Hey guys, if you are watching on our social media, you can see the IWE tag belts are bouncing. And guess what, Moose? You live in Oakland County, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you don't have Comcast or WOW anymore for your cable.
Nope.
But if you did, you could go to channel 18 in about 5 minutes, and through the wonder of television, you could check me out twice at the same time, 2 different places at the same time, because IWE will be on at 9 p.m. Battlezone TV. Go check it out. If you're going to leave here, my Oakland County friends, that's the only other place you're allowed to leave. To go to. So yeah, at 9 o'clock, IWE Battlezone TV will premiere on Comcast and WOW cable channel 18 in Oakland County there. So like Rochester Hills, Troy, Clawson, all you guys, Ferndale, all you guys will have it. So tons of other affiliates. So go to the Studio 57 Radio Facebook page, and you can see we're all over the place. We landed in Fargo, North Dakota today as well.
Ah.
So now IWE is Fargo is IWE country now.
Alrighty then.
So there you go.
Good day.
Yeah, some shit like that. They do have a great sports station. I stream their KDKT, It's their sports station over there, and they have all the good shows. They've like got DA in the morning, then they got Dan Patrick, and they got a good lineup of sports talk on that station. It's on an FM signal over there too. So North Dakota doesn't have a whole lot of anything going on there, but that would be probably the highlight. So there you go. And well, no, IWE would be the highlight, but that would be the second one, and then us. So any old way, let's finish this on the flip, because we still have to kind of get into a little bit of baseball.
Oh yeah,
There's
college
football, and then pick'ems. So
Yes.
like, I want to catch our breath, get ourselves set up so we can kind of rapid fire this stuff,
Yes.
guys. So text lines are open, 313-307-5340, social media, all that good stuff. Get in on the conversation. We're going to refresh our beverage. We're going to get things rolling. We're going to continue with the NFL. We got our pick'ems, fantasy moment, MLB. It was a one and done last night, the same as it ever was. The Red Sox and the Yankees, how many times has that happened? We'll talk about that game and a whole heck of a lot more on the other side. Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Okay, I think that's it.
We are DSR2 Studio 57 Radio.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Party people, this is the original Doc Ice, and you are definitely listening to Studio 57 Radio. And if Studio 57 Radio isn't on, then your radio ain't really on. Check that.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Hey everybody, Scrappy here to tell you about That Radio Show. Hang with me as I break down the world of entertainment with great guests, celebrity interviews, awesome games with wonderful prizes. Also, we've got the biggest library of underground hip-hop of any station on the net. You mix in a little stand-up comedy and a text line so your voice can be heard, and you got a pretty good little show. But add listener-controlled programming? Yeah, you heard me. Listener-controlled programming, where you, the listener, can decide what makes it on the air. And now you've got the greatest show ever created. So join my show, your show, our show, the people's show, That Radio Show, each and every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, only here on Studio 57 Radio.
Hey everybody, this is your boy Big D, here to tell you about Mark for Life Tattoos. Guys, this place is the cleanest, most laid-back studio in Metro Detroit, and the artists are top-notch. And if you're like me from the D, you need to stop in on Fridays for that D-Day and get your old English D for only $20. Not interested in tattoos? Mark for Life does body piercings. Mark for Life is located at 22533 Van Dyke in Warren, and the guys are there 7 days a week from noon to 9. So give them a call at 757-2222. That's 586-757-2222. Tell them Studio 57 sent you and get 20% off. So what are you waiting for? Call them now.
Hey everybody, Smokey here to tell you about Allstate Tire. With winter fast approaching, the most important thing between you and the road is your tires. So don't put your safety in just anybody's hands. Go to Allstate Tire. With new and quality used tires available, you can trust Allstate Tire for all your tire needs. You can visit them at 14208 9 Mile Road in Warren, or give them a call at 586-779-8759. Allstate Tire, your source for quality new and used tires.
What's happening, everybody? Scrappy here to tell you about Love and Life Club. Love and Life Club is a social networking club that's located at 19960 James Cousins. That's a Lodge service drive between 7 and 8 Mile Road in the D. You need to stop in for $5 Fridays for great music, food and drinks. I personally recommend the chicken. Love and Life Club is also available for rental for bachelor parties, wedding receptions, or any party for that matter. For more information, log on to www.loveandlifeclub.com. That's loveandlifeclub.com, or call D at 313-999-2824. That's 313-999-2824. That's Love and Life Club. If you're loving life, you need to be in the club.
We are taking over this broadcast for the Ultimate Underground.
Studio 57 Radio Original. You know, when you hear that sound, you're gonna have a good time, because that's the sound of the Ultimate Underground live concert webcast from the Detroit area. We go to the most famous, or should I say infamous, venues in the D, and bring the underground music scene from the streets to your computer like nobody else can. There's only one catch. You never know when and where the Ultimate Underground is going to take over a broadcast. So you need to stay tuned to Studio 57 Radio all day, every day, for clues on when and where the next Ultimate Underground may happen. Now, there's no other station on the net that's going to give you this live webcast of some of the hottest artists in the D. That's the Ultimate Underground live on your home for hip-hop, rock and metal, Studio 57 Radio, baby.
Goodbye.
You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets. You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets. Studio 57 is a 32-track digital recording studio that utilizes Cool Edit, Logic Pro, Shure, AKG, Sennheiser, Yamaha, Korg, Mackie, Boss, Ibanez, Fender, Fruity Loops, and many, many more to make your music pop. Experienced and friendly engineers make Studio 57 feel like you're home away from home. With beat creation, mixing, mastering, digital media conversion, and DJs for any event, Studio 57 Records is your one-stop shop for all your music entertainment needs. We have online bill pay and flexible payment schedules. That makes Studio 57 the place to be. For more information, visit Studio57records.com. That's www.studio57records.com, or call us at 586-420-3390. That's 586-420-3390, or log on to Studio57records.com. And just remember one thing, baby. You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering. Great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets. You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets.
Party people, this is the original Doc Ice, and you are definitely listening to Studio 57 Radio. And if Studio 57 Radio isn't on, then your radio ain't really on. Check that.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
We're me and Moose are going over our match beforehand. We're just talking about how we're gonna go over things, what we're gonna do. No, welcome back, Rebels, to our number 2 of DSR2, guys. Please, if you haven't already, go to iwegladiators.com. Check us out. We're in like 10 states, tons of affiliates all over the place. You can check us out streaming online. We're on Wednesdays at 9 o'clock right now here if you're in Oakland County, Michigan. Got Comcast and WOW Channel 18, so check that out. I'm over there doing commentary as we speak, but we're talking other sports here, and we got a whole ton to get into, so buckle up. This thing's going to be fast. It's rapid fire like a gun, so let's do this thing. I'm Scrappy, and here's Johnny the Moose.
Hey, we're back here for the second hour of DSR2 on this Wednesday here in October, which feels like more like, I don't know, early September or May.
It's weird. I'm just kind of done with the rain. I wanted to. My joints are like, F
They
you,
said
man.
out of the last 4 months, we've had 67 days of rain.
I'm just so sick of the rain, guys. Like, I don't want to complain because, like, okay, this is the thing. Nobody wants to come to Michigan, and guess what? I like it. That's fine. Don't come here. It's great.
We don't want you.
We don't want. Yeah, we're fine like that. The second thing is like we have every season and every day, and everybody like bitches about it. But guess what? No hurricanes, no earthquakes,
no mudslides, no volcanoes.
Yes, no locusts. No, nothing ever happens here that's uber crazy. But dude, it feels like effing Seattle here. No offense. It's like I'm done with it. Isn't London or something known for having gray skies all the time?
Well,
I started feeling like that after a while.
Michigan is the second cloudiest state in the country.
That is aggravating.
To Washington. And it's because, again, the Great Lakes are
right.
changes weather patterns and that.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, enough of the rain.
Yeah,
I'm tired of the gray and gloominess on there.
Yeah.
And I'm like going, holy crap. And they said, yeah, we've had 21 inches of rain in the last 4 months.
I can't.
That's a lot of damn rain.
Yeah, I can't take it anymore. My tennis elbow's off the hook.
My knees are bad.
My knees are wasted. They're so wasted. Like, I went into the doctor, you know, and I went to the local athletic doctors here. So at the time, it was the same cats that were taking care of the Pistons, and my knee injuries are basically considered basketball like related. So like I'm like, oh cool, I'm going to the Pistons physicians, and I went and saw these and they're like, yep, you know told me they figured out they knew what it was right away, and this is what happened, and you know you fall in this 10th percentile where you're screwed basically, and so you're a prime candidate for knee replacement. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I don't know if I want to do that, but I get it. Is that my only option? They're like, well, that's your best option. You're young, so we can deal with pain management. I was like 36 at the time. And he's like, and I'm like, so how long do I got to hold out? He's like, oh, into your 50s sometime, probably, because you only want to do it once. They only last so long. And I'm like, oh. So I've got to basically pain manage for like 20 years. He's like, right. Yeah, pretty much. And I'm like,
well, that didn't really help me out.
Thanks. That's great. Like, unless you want to do it twice. And I'm like, no, I don't really want to do it twice. No, I sure as F don't want to do it twice. So I sure didn't want to have a dual replacement at 36. Right. But I was a candidate because of how bad it was. So like, they're like, yep. You can't do any high impact anything, no athletics, no nothing. Don't do any of that stuff anymore. You're done. And then, try not to be on your feet any more than you have to be. And, no, nothing shocking or concussive. So no jogging or running if you don't have to, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Just sit around and get fat? Like what's the way?
And isn't it going to count?
Yeah, then isn't that like counterproductive? He's like, well, no. He's like, you want to keep your stuff up. He's like, you can walk and go for long walks, and you can do. You just don't do anything that's high impact. He's like, so when you're crushing your knees down to the ground, that's high impact. If you're just going for like you're speed walking and stuff like that, or you're on a treadmill where it's low impact, then you're probably okay. But if you're running down the sidewalk,
no marathons for you there.
Yeah, nothing like that. So I walk on a hike and all that, and then I kayak in the summer because I can really get the heart pumping if I want, and it's all upper body. So I'm kind of just dragging my legs around. So that's kind of how I handle it. But like, it's no joke when it's wet and damp and cold like this,
Ugh.
dude. It's so stupid. I used to make fun of the old folks in my life for that shit, and I'm in every way is bad or worse than they ever were, as far as like all my fingers and shit and toes are all twisting. Every joint hurts. You can't lay or sleep on anything for too long. You start like losing feeling in places. It's like I'm just a goddamn mess.
Yeah.
I'm a mess.
I know that feeling. My knees are
So-
shot back on there and everything with it. On there. So yeah, we still got
We got a lot.
We got a lot,
Let's get going here. Okay, where we
still
going?
1-0. Bottom of the third. The Cardinals over the Dodgers.
Yep. No,
On there. So yeah, we get some college football. So much for being close games there. We always thought, oh, Maryland, Iowa is going to be a good game. 51-14.
Yeah,
that
right.
game was over at halftime.
it's pretty wild how the season's gone.
Georgia,
but-
Arkansas. Oh yeah, that game was over halftime.
I told you it was going to be a weird ass year.
It wasn't weird. Bama took care of Ole Miss on here.
Yep, that's
Michigan
not-
takes care of Wisconsin on
You
there.
know what? I'm not gonna. You got to take it as a solid win for Michigan.
It is a solid win.
You know, you
Again,
went on the
30
road
and
against a team when you were the underdog, and you pulled off a victory,
Yes.
and you haven't done it in that
They
building
look
in quite
good.
a long time, and you did it pretty
And
convincingly.
the game wasn't
so.
even that close at 38.
Right,
17.
yeah, that
It
was like clean up
That was a garbage
stuff, yeah,
touchdown. But yeah, Michigan was able to run the ball a little bit on there, and they made some nice passing plays out there, and the defense looks stellar wise with it. But again, don't get on there. Let's see what they do. But it was a nice win against. I don't care again. Going into Wisconsin as an underdog and manhandling Wisconsin on there, especially the way they handled them, it's a big win. It's a good,
Yeah.
solid win.
Yep. So we'll see.
Kentucky going into Florida, upsetting them. That was a great win for for Kentucky on there. Oregon, I didn't expect that one to lose to Stanford in overtime. That was a shocker.
Yep. The way they've been playing. you
Yeah.
know, I mean,
I thought they were on there.
they were the new like hotness as far as sneaky underdog. Like
Yep.
people were kind of dark horsing.
Auburn winning the way they did at LSU was a nice win. With that, but yeah, I was pretty surprised on that. But yeah, I thought right now it's like they got Bama 1, Georgia 2. I'd almost flip it. I think Georgia right now is playing better than Bama. They are that defense is just scary.
I ain't mad at you, Moose. I think that reputation that Bama's got carries them to that one spot. But
Bama's defense is not Bama's defensive pass under. Georgia's defense is legit.
yep. Well, I can't. Well, hopefully we get a chance to see them square up.
Yep, we will on there. So that was good. Michigan State had a nice win against Western Kentucky. Again, State did a lot of their damage in the first half. Second half, they didn't look all that great there, but we'll see what happens there. UCLA getting upset by Arizona State. That was a surprise one as well. Again, Hawaii beating Fresno State. There was a lot of weird weeks on there. You know the highest ranked ACC team is? Wake Forest. Wake Forest is the only ACC team in the top 25.
Wow.
And the Big Ten has four out of the top 10. 5 out of the top 11.
Hey, that's good though.
Iowa's number is up there. Penn State's up there. Michigan's up there. And Ohio State, obviously, and Michigan State.
The key is how do they perform? Can we get somebody to represent in the playoffs? And then when you get to your goofy ass bowl games, how do you perform?
I don't know if anybody out of the Big Ten. I mean, Iowa, they have enough offense just to do what they got to do, but that defense is really good. I mean, they basically cause turnovers. They basically stop you from doing whatever you want to do on there with it. So that's just weird on that. Ohio State, I'm still not. Their defense is not that good. Still,
Yeah.
I mean, I know they gave up 30, but again, it was freaking Rutgers.
Yeah, I know. Right?
So we'll see there. But yeah, Michigan, I'm not buying into it till you got to beat Ohio State. You got to get to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe we need to light a freaking fire under Harbaugh and basically say, you know what, here, win or go home, and that's it. And we're going to cut your rate and salary, and he gets a lot of these young guys out there while he's out there on there. Mike McDonald's is doing a nice job as defensive coordinator. That defense looks pretty damn good.
Right.
Thank God they're playing a zone defense and putting some pressure and basically getting guys flying around, and basically you can have safety runs and down there. They're doing everything they got to do, but they're playing the zone and they can basically cover guys.
Well, and that's what's good. The great thing about all that is
everybody on man to man and get killed.
Well, yeah, because man to man, you could sit back in the shotgun and you could just pick it apart, man. Like, I mean, the rules aren't set up for the defensive player to succeed. So, yeah, I mean, a good quarterback and receiver are going to cut you up if you're in man constantly. Right. Like, if you want to try to change up the looks and disguise it and then sneak some man-to-man so you can, like, get a bull rush, but you better be getting pressure.
Right.
And so
you better have shut down corners.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. At least one, right? Yeah. Gosh. So you could put on their top guy.
Last Michigan, when they ran the man-to-man and could shut people down, is they had two really good corners with David Long and Jermaine Lewis.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Those were you had two legit shutdown corners.
Right.
So you could play a man-to-man and put pressure and blitz because you got corners that can cover everybody.
Right.
If you don't have that, then you guys are going to get killed. We've seen that with every time they play Michigan, Ohio State. Oh, we don't have the corner cells, and they come across the slot, coming across the middle. Boom, guy's wide open. Boom, they hit him in stride. He's gone. Now you get them in a zone, and they can't. Yeah, they'll get those passes, but guess what? That's going to be a 5-yard, a 6-yard pass. It's not going to be a 6-yarder that they break off for 20.
Right.
And again, I like the fact that they got some speed on defense again with it, and they're mixing guys around and everything with it. And I like the fact on there, you got a guy with a pro mind on there coming into college and taking that same mindset and seeing how these kids respond wise. It's pretty good. I love the fact that this team's playing pretty loose.
Yeah,
people are going to be bitching and moaning about them getting all jumping, acting crazy when they're playing jump at the fourth quarter in Wisconsin. I loved it.
Yeah,
I love the fact on there.
Yeah, I do too.
Again, the Sparty helmet, wearing the Gruff Sparty with the white helmet, the big Gruff Sparty on it, loved it. Sure, that should be State's helmet from now on.
All right, yeah, I agree.
Michigan going with the blue pants on the road. I liked it. I like switching things up a little bit on there.
Yeah, I agree. It's fun. I think ultimately in the end, I just want to see them change things up by, like, I don't know, winning.
Yes.
So
till you beat Ohio State, I don't want to hear anything on it.
So all that
Jimmy,
other
you're still in the hot seat till you beat Ohio State.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. All right. What else we got here? Well, let's hit that
baseball on there.
Let's hit that game last night.
Loved it. Loved it. And again, why?
Yankee fans have been struggling this year with
I was almost
going to
share because I had the Facebook memory on there, and I made one up years ago where they had the most interesting man in the world, and it basically says, I don't always watch the Yankees play the Tigers play the Yankees, but when I do, I root for the Tigers because the Yankees, they are scumbags. And I love the fact on there. Yes, you have this freaking ungodly basically salary, and you lose. Your Cy Young winning pitcher didn't make it out of the second inning.
Dude, that was ugly. That was bowling shoe ugly.
Loved it. Loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the Red Sox are going to go far anyways, but as long as the Yankees didn't. Love it.
Right.
Again, am I going to root for the Cardinals over the Dodgers? Probably. Because again, Dodgers got down there. They got 106 wins and they didn't even win their division. 106 wins and they didn't win the division.
That's messed up.
That's getting Frisco. I mean, Frisco ended up on there. Frisco was garbage last year. This is all about basically guys playing out of their minds and a manager to get everybody play on there. 107 wins by Frisco.
That's wild.
But yeah, the Yankees losing, love it.
Yeah, I think a lot of because they're considered probably the evil empire of baseball.
Always will be.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people kind of outside there, and I think even the fan base, it's been a roller coaster ride for them this year, and so that game, to be quite honest, is a microcosm of like what they've kind of had to put up with. I mean, that's how the way the season started. I mean, they could have easily not even been in the playoff picture at all. So, yeah. So, but yeah, nothing like watching the Yanks go down. So, there you go.
Well, you got that on there, and again, I want to root for Tampa. I like to see Tampa win the whole damn thing.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
They
could be title town over there. I
nobody
guess.
shows up for the watch of Tampa Bay.
Well, then
the
you know what?
Rays.
We're going to hear stories about how Brady's excellence just spills into every town he
because they won the Stanley Cup and the Super Bowl on there.
Yeah.
And last year the Rays went to the World Series and lost it on there. But again,
and then when he was in New England, how many championships
Boston
did that
won
town
on
get?
there. Yeah, Boston won 4.
What about the Celtics
Series
back in the day?
The Celtics won a couple, and the Bruins won. Great.
Yeah.
Hey Brady, why don't you freaking come here?
Yeah.
I mean, I love the fact on there. What was it? Kevin Hart says, "Yeah, you don't want to press me? Go to Detroit, win one there."
Yeah. Go to Detroit. You know what? You don't even have to win here. Just come here and rub off on the other team.
That's right.
I don't even care.
No, again, because if the Lions ever won a Super Bowl, this town would go nuts.
The problem with that is essentially it would all come crashing down for a day because half of us would not make it in the next day, and the other half would be like cleaning up the mess from the half that's not coming in.
Yes.
I mean, it would be.
I think they would always give like everybody, you know what? Take the day off.
They would just be like, you know what? We're just shutting everything down for the day. Like, fuck it. Like
we'll pay the guys overtime to clean up, but man, it's under.
It's like, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, you could burn the city down. You know, I'm tired of that old. Dude, that was 1984. We've won championships since then.
No, we wouldn't burn the city down. It's just everybody would party so effing hard.
Oh my god!
And trash things.
I mean, you thought it was crazy when the Wings won after 42 years.
Sure.
Imagine if the frickin' Lions win after 65 years now.
Yeah. It'd be like It's like going to Woodstock after and seeing all the shit that got left behind. That's what Detroit will look like the next morning.
Yeah, they'll have them on the last week. Yeah. Don't take the brown acid, man.
Right. It'll look like Woodstock came through and left all the debris behind, and it'll just happen in one night. It'll cover pretty much the entire southeastern Michigan region at the very least.
Yes.
Probably most of the state. It would just be insane because they just never been anywhere near sniffing a Super Bowl ever in the history of ever. So, yeah, that's they talk about teams like in all sports, waiting so long to win a championship and the fan base waiting so long. Nobody has waited longer than the Lions because I can't think of another team in modern sports that hasn't even contended for their league's championship.
Yes.
Since the NFL was born, we have not contended for a Super Bowl. So.
Yeah, the closer we had was in '91, and we basically got smoked by Washington.
Yeah.
In the NFC Championship, which was ironic. We got smoked the first game of the season, go with 12-3 the rest of the season, and then get smoked again by the playoffs. So, and we thought, all right, we're up and coming, man. Look what we did on it. And I was like,
yeah. So to me, it's just like. So if the fan base got one here, that's what it would be like. It'd be like that anxiety would just come rushing out all at once from like everybody. Think about the old timers, Moose, like even older than think about like your dad, right? Like that generation.
My father loved the Lions, but he says remember, they'll break your heart.
Right.
And his exact words are, they'll break your heart every fucking year.
Yeah.
And he goes, and again, he go, I'm done. And all of a sudden they suck him back in. And all of a sudden they sit there and you go, motherfucker. I mean, growing up, watching my father on there, I thought Bud Grant was the Antichrist because my father would just drop F-bomb after F-bomb about Bud Grant and throw empty Pabst Blue Ribbon cans at the TV. Because he hated Bud Grant on there. Because the Lions weren't half bad in the 70s.
Sure.
Because the problem is Minnesota was the best team in our division because Green Bay was terrible. The Bears were terrible. The Lions had a good defense. We just didn't have a quarterback. Landry is okay,
Right.
but we didn't have a quarterback.
Sure.
But that defense was really good. I mean, again, we had some good. Same thing in the 60s. The defense was really freaking good with that front four of the Lions.
Right.
Problem is we didn't have a quarterback.
Sure.
And then when we get a quarterback, it's like they don't know what to do with him. We have the best running back ever, and they don't know what to do with him. We have the most physically dominant receiver, and they don't know what to do with.
Sounds about right.
God. So, oh, but yeah, I'm rooting for it again on there. But yeah, it just, trust me, if the Lions ever win, this town is going to party like it's never seen a party ever before.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, you're going to have 5 million people probably showing up for that frickin' parade.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Southeastern Michigan is shutting down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just, it's just one of those things, man. Like,
Oh, and then again, people are griping out. Why are they doing a delay? Because it's an enclosed stadium. It's an indoor stadium for Monday night. No, it's an outdoor stadium with a canopy over there. Well, lightning doesn't go sideways. Bullshit, it doesn't.
Yeah, I was like,
lightning goes wherever the fuck it wants.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, you never looked at lightning and it went.
It goes here. No,
does it always go straight down? Like, I've never seen it always go straight down. I mean, I've seen straight down before, but not every lightning.
I've seen lightning go horizontal.
I've seen lightning like break wide 2 different directions, man. So
yeah.
horizontally. So like, don't tell me that shit. I've seen it. It hit my house. I've had it hit my house and blow out all the shit in my house. I was I must be a conductor, but I've never been hit because when I was a kid, we were driving down the freeway one time during a really bad storm, and lightning hit one of the transformers on the side of the freeway when we were driving by, and you would have thought the fucking aliens were landing. It was the greenest blinding light you've ever seen, dude. It was like this green white, like blinding light, and the noise that it made, that it was like scrambling your brain because it's right there. It was so loud, and shit's like you're right by the firework barge or some fucking shit. Oh gosh. I was like, man. So lightning ain't no joke. It'll come through that window of your freaking house if you know. I mean, not that precise. But
again, I'm going to quote Lee Trevino. And again, wow, golf 2 weeks in a row. And again, he's been struck by lightning twice. And he says, well, if there's ever you're out there in the course and there's a thunderstorm, what are you going to do? You're going to take cover? He goes, no, I'm going to grab a 1-iron. A 1-iron? He goes, yep, because even God can't hit a 1-iron.
That's funny. Canada Mike's in on the social media giving you guys the blow-by-blow, so get on the Facebook feed and check it out. I appreciate Brian and
going to the top of the fourth
and everybody. Yeah, a little bit earlier, the Dodgers had the bases loaded, and Canada Mike was pretty excited, but then they hit into a double play. So there you go. So there you go. That's the one-off over there on the other side of the league. So anyway, what do you got for your fantasy moment, Moose? Because we got to get into pick'ems yet too.
Yep,
so
we got fantasy moment here, and again, lots of injuries out there. If you're looking at running back wise out there, Dave Montgomery's a little banged up. Possibly he's going to be out for a couple weeks on there with a knee injury on there. Thank God it's not a torn ACL or MCL. So definitely pick up Damon Williams on your fantasy rosters. With it, Mixon should be playing. So if you're worried about handcuff, get Samaj Perine. I would probably look more at Chris Evans personally for Cincy. Kenneth Gainwell, because Sanders is just not doing it much on there, so I would definitely pick up there. James White out with New England. Brandon Bolden's probably going to pick up the slack there as the receiving running back wise. Definitely pick up there. Le'Veon Bell looks like he's going to be coming out. It looks like he's going to start, probably at least play this week. He's now off the practice squad onto the full time. So if you got Tyson Williams, dump him, and then maybe pick up Le'Veon Bell wise on there. Quarterback wise on there, Trey Lance is probably going to get more and more plays out there. Garoppolo probably may not even play this week on there, so definitely look at Trey Lance. Danny Dimes, couple good weeks in a row. What the hell?
Yeah, right.
We're going there as well. Definitely like that on there. And then wide receivers wise, definitely Chenault from Jacksonville, definitely like him. On there, AJ Green, he's still available in a lot of things to definitely pick up here. He's found the Fountain of Youth. Hunter Renfro, again, is a slot monster, so definitely look at him. And then Darnell Mooney from the Bears, and Kadarius Toney on there. Basically, looks like he's playing a lot more slot net, so we'll definitely pick up him as well on there. And then if you need a tight end, Dalton Schultz, I still like on there with it. And then Dawson Knox. And of course, CJ Uzma, who got two touchdowns last week. So definitely look there. Definitely like them. And again, if you need a kicker or a defense, don't even freaking talk to me. No. Not going to happen.
All right, Moose. Last week
We sucked.
Oh my gosh, Moose.
It was brutal.
Moose. No, we're not leaving.
Might as well leave after that.
Yeah.
pick.
Oh my goodness. So we're gonna make a failed attempt at this thing one more flibbin' time. So let me get these games up here in front of me.
I've
Moose.
got them here.
I
I've
know
got the
you do,
sheet,
but
yeah.
you're all over the place sometimes, Moose.
All right,
I gotta
well,
I gotta
follow
make
there.
sure
Here's the sheet
follow.
here.
Oh, you got a sheet?
I have a sheet for you.
Okay, cool. So you're gonna start from the very top one.
First top one.
Thursday game.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So we actually got a good Thursday night game, and I think it's actually on Amazon.
Oh, really?
On it. It's not just on NFL TV. I think week 5 they start playing on there. So I think we're gonna actually, you don't have to have cable or any of that. You might be able to watch it on there. So
Oh, interesting. Very
on
nice.
that. So we got and actually a really good game to watch on Thursday night at 8:20. The Rams are on the road and they're facing the Seattle Seahawks. Rams are a half-point favorite. Rams coming off a bad loss last week on there. I still not know what the hell to make out of Seattle.
I know, right? This is a tough one for me, I think, but I'm expecting the Rams to recover.
Yes.
I don't.
I expect the Rams to recover. I expect the Rams defense to basically make things very uncomfortable for Russell Wilson.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take the Rams in this one.
All right, then we got the first of the 1 o'clock games. Here's a game that nobody should ever have to watch. We have the Jets on the road against Atlanta. Jets are a 3.5-point dog on the road on this one. They had their first win, was it last week on there? Atlanta's still garbage. Jets are garbage. Ugh. I'm going to have to go Atlanta just because they're at home. But I would almost take the points and give the Jets the point.
I
take
tell
the Jets
you.
in 3.5.
Yeah, at this point, that half is the hook, right?
Yep.
So I'm with you. They take Atlanta, but jeez.
I'm not touching this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, that's for sure.
All right, we got second 1 o'clock game. Green Bay is on the road. They're a 3.5-point favorite against Cincinnati. This one, I think, and even though Cincinnati's a home dog on this one, I'm liking Cincinnati over Green Bay.
Really?
I'm not buying him. I'm not buying Green Bay. I think Cincinnati's actually played better this season so far. Defense has played all right. They're running the ball, and they've got some really good receivers, and JoJo's really coming back. I mean, he's showing back what he was doing before he got hurt.
I like Cincy. I don't know if I like him in this game. I mean, I guess they have the home field and all that, but you know what? I'm going to take Green Bay in this game. I'm not feeling confident about it, but I don't know that I'm sold on Cincy yet. And Aaron's all over the place there in Green Bay. I can't count them out until they prove me otherwise at this point, because it just seems like when they need to win these games, they win these games. It's a game they need to they can't afford to lose dumb games. So, my take.
All right. So we got also 1 o'clock game. Detroit is on the road to Minneapolis. Detroit is only an 8.5-point dog. I think it's already up to 9 on this one. I don't care if Dalvin Cook doesn't play. I think he is going to play this week on there, but I'm taking Minnesota. I think Minnesota's going to just destroy them.
Yeah, I mean, it's the flippin' Lions, right?
I mean,
we've already seen what they have to offer
Ragnow's
us.
on the IR.
Yeah,
Sewell's got an ankle injury.
Well, yeah, they'll hold him out of practice.
Romeo Okora's done for the year.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. The Lions they are who we thought they were.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I don't like Minnesota, but this week I do.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Denver goes on the road on there. They're playing Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a half-point favorite at home. Pittsburgh's defenses look terrible. Pittsburgh's offenses look terrible. But I think Drew Lock is playing for Denver because I think Bridgewater's got a concussion. So he's in the protocol.
All right.
It's almost a flip of the coin. And I'm not. If I had to bet, I wouldn't.
I would. Yeah, I wouldn't bet on this one either.
I think T.J. Watt may be back this week, so I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to just say Pittsburgh at home. If T.J. Watt plays, I'm gonna have to go with Pitt.
Okay. I would normally be all about the Steelers, and I wouldn't have to think about it too much. But what we're getting right now out of them and that offensive line play, it's just an issue right now. And eventually, it's going to become a turnover problem. Okay, you can't have that kind of penetration and issues and not have a turnover. And Ben can't move; he's a planted tree, and he's not like he's hard to take down anymore. So I don't like that combination regardless of what's going on in Denver, I think, at this moment. I'm going to take Denver. I'm not feeling good about this pick, though, Moose. Like you said, if I had to bet it, I would probably just, jump out into traffic. I'm not betting this game. If
Teddy Two Gloves is playing, I take Denver.
Oh,
just because
right.
Drew Lock, I'm not
yeah, no, I'm with you on that. If Teddy Two Gloves is, then I feel fine about this pick. But without him, I'm still taking him. I'm just not feeling good about it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so we got Miami is going across the state there and a little bit farther up. They're a 10.5-point dog against Tampa. Yeah. Give me Tampa. I'll give up the points on this one. Miami's defenses look terrible. They just not look. I don't know what. I mean, I expected more out of this team this year, and they're just not doing it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Miami's horrible, and you're going against the defending champs. This is a great chance for them to rebound from a lackluster game last week.
All right, so we got New Orleans is on the road. They're going up to Washington, D.C. to face the football team. New Orleans is a half-point favorite on this one. While Washington has looked a little better last week on there. I think they got the win in that on there. But New Orleans, their defense has not been that great on there.
No.
New Orleans' run defense, when everybody's playing, they're playing good. I think they just got. I'm going to take Alvin Kamara and the Saints against Washington.
I'm with you. I don't feel Washington's quite got it together. They're still kind of scrambled. Yes, they're going to steal wins here and there and surprise you and whatever and play well occasionally, but it's hard to put it all together week in and week out against better teams. And I just, as much as your boy is who we thought he was at quarterback at this point here, and you're playing around. I like Kamara as well, so I'm going to take the Saints.
All right, Philly's going down the road a little bit to Carolina. They're a 4.5-point dog to Carolina. Yeah, Carolina just got Stephon Gilmore in it. Philly just doesn't have enough weapons. I mean, other than Jalen Hurts, they got really nothing.
No,
and Carolina's defense has played a lot better there, and I'm going to say they got better receivers and better defense, so give me Carolina.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll take Carolina all day and twice on Sunday because, they're just a better team. The Phillies just got no depth whatsoever, and you're playing a young quarterback and just kind of leaving him out there to it's tough, man. It's a tough ask for that guy to do all that. So I like Carolina to get that'll be their fourth win this year already.
All right, so we got another 1 o'clock game. Tennessee is going down the road to Jacksonville. Tennessee is only a 3.5-point favorite because A.J. Brown and Julio are probably not going to play. Doesn't matter. They're going to give Derrick Henry the ball 30 times, and he'll run for 220 yards. Plain and simple. They can't stop him. Urban Meyer is going to have another meltdown. Watch, he's getting lap dances from the cheerleaders at halftime, and they're going to find, you know what? Enough's enough. You're fired. Just thank God you're at home. Otherwise, we'd fire you in the tarmac.
Yeah, I'm with you. Tennessee, same deal. Yeah, I'll take them because, yeah, they're just a dumpster fire over there. I don't even know what else to say about Jacksonville. They just got too much distractions. He didn't want no distractions, but he's causing all of them.
Well, talk about distractions. We got the next game. New England is on the road. Also, for the last of the 1 o'clock games, are a 7.5 point favorite against Houston. Why? Because it's Houston.
Yeah.
It's Houston. Talk about a team that just doesn't know what the hell they're doing. Give me New England.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Houston is, absolute ship show. I don't even know what to say. They're just a debacle, more so than even our show. Jeez Louise. So, yeah, give me New England.
All right, we got the 4 o'clock game. So we got a 4:05 game, Chicago, going out to Vegas. Vegas is a 4.5 point favorite. Justin Fields is going to get the start again this week on there. Again, as we said, Darrell Williams or Damian Williams is probably going to be a starting running back on there. Vegas has looked good on there. Derek Carr's looked really good. Give me Vegas. I mean, Derek Carr is almost looking good despite John Gruden.
Well, that's kind of what I feel like. I feel like they're playing well despite what their coach is trying to do to them out there. But it is Chicago. So, like, let's be real. It is Chicago. I'll take Las Vegas, as weird as that sounds.
Okay.
Still, to me.
Here's another. We got another 4 o'clock game, 4:05. Again, here's we got a couple good games here, the 4 o'clock, and we got a great game later on Sunday. So we got 4:05. Cleveland goes out to L.A. facing the Chargers. Cleveland is a 0.5 point favorite on this one. This is going to be a great match.
I think this is going to be a really good game, but it's hard to bet against Herbert right now and what's going on over there in San Diego. So I'm not sure how you're feeling about it, but this is another one. I don't know if I want to touch it just because 0.5 point, man. It's just hard to mess with a 0.5 point.
Yes.
So I'm going to take the Chargers in this instance, but either way, I'm not, whatever, it is what it is. But I expect I expect this to be probably the game of the week, to be honest.
No, we got another game.
I know we got a couple on here, but
I think, you know what, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to take Chargers at home in that, just because it's at home. But again,
right.
Cleveland's playing really good defense-wise. Got a great offensive line. Got great running back-wise on there. They're playing within themselves and everything. But I'm going to say, give me the Chargers at home in that. I think they just are a little bit better at the receiving core right now than the Browns.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keenan Allen is still looking great, but Michael Williams is definitely taking it to the next level this year for him. He's stepped up in that. So I'm going to go with the home dog there. All right, the Giants are going down to Jerry World for the 4:25 game. How the hell does this end up being a 4:25 game on there? Because it's Dallas. They're a 7.5 point dog on this one. Yeah, I mean, give me Dallas to win this one.
Yep.
The Giants are still garbage.
Yeah, they're horrible. They're absolutely horrible. And it is what it is. Dallas.
Then we got Frisco is going out to Arizona. Frisco is a 0.5 point dog on the road. Arizona is 4-0 on that. I gotta have to go with Arizona just because I think they just got more weapons offensive wise. Even though I do love Frisco and Kyle Shanahan, the defense is there, but I have to go with Arizona.
I'm with you, Moose. I really like San Francisco, what they could do, but until the flame dies out on these birds, man, I got to ride with them. I mean, the offense has just been too potent that it hasn't really. It's covered up the defensive deficiencies, and until that changes, or I see somebody that I gotta go with them. So I'm with you, Cardinals.
All right, don't you dare walk across my keyboard.
Yeah, you get out of here, crazy cat.
No, sure. All right, so we got the game of the week Sunday night. So you get a little nap time. You don't get probably sleep during the 1 o'clock games because most of them are like, blah. And especially here, we're going to be stuck with Detroit, Minnesota. Take a nap.
Right.
Because on Sunday night, we got Buffalo at Kansas City. Buffalo is a 3.5 point dog on there. KC is looks like they play a little better on there. I'd almost have to say the way Buffalo's been playing on there, I'm going to go Buffalo.
Yeah, I feel like Buffalo's going to win, and I don't know how great of a game this is going to be. I feel like KC is struggling a little bit, and I think in the end they can get it straightened out. I just don't feel like, I don't know, I just feel like there's a little something missing in that mix right now. Something ain't quite stirring that drink like it should be over there.
Their defense is terrible.
I mean, but they've always been lacking in defense. It's never been a strong suit. But yeah, you're right. It is notably bad. But I don't know. So I'm with you. I'm going to take Buffalo in this game. That's why I don't feel like this one's necessarily going to be the game of the week, man. You can call it the game of the week all you want. I still go back to Cleveland Chargers and think that is going to be a more competitive, entertaining overall game that I would rather be watching. I just that's going to be my take on it. I'm calling my shot now on there. But this one should be, but I don't know. We'll see. It is on prime time. It is a standalone game, so hopefully they get after it, and it is as excellent as it should be. I just, for some reason, feel like it's not going to be quite like that. I don't know.
So we got Monday night. Again, as we say, always watch Monday night with the Mannings.
Yes, I don't know when they're back on. They weren't on this week because
I think they were taking a couple weeks off.
Yeah, they're taking a couple weeks off. But when they get back, check out the Manning cast. That's the way to watch it. Anyway.
All right, so we got Indianapolis at Baltimore. Indy is a 7.5-point dog on the road. Yeah. I mean, but then again, it's going to be a boring game to watch because I don't think Baltimore has that much. I mean, yes, I don't know if they can contain Lamar Jackson, but Baltimore's not lighting it up offensive-wise at all.
Right. No, but a lot of the problems with Baltimore is just fielding guys because the COVID protocol kind of ran them ragged, and then everything else. So it's just, we'll see. They had a rough couple of games because they couldn't. But yeah, I expect Indy's just a mess right now, really, to me. And with the Goff not the Goff, but the Carson Wentz situation there, it's like, bleh. So yeah, I'm gonna run with Baltimore. I think it's a pretty obvious one at this point.
Yeah. So there we go with our pick'ems on there.
Whatever you do not
bet the opposite.
Yes, just bet the farm the other way, and you'll be fine because we, Moose, were absolutely brutal last time.
Yes.
I don't know what else to say other than that.
Brutal.
For all my Lucha Libre friends, you get that joke. Thanks, Casey, Mike, Ed. There's a ton of guys I got in today. I appreciate y'all. Careless Whisper. Yes, that's Fantasy Pick'ems, baby. You know how we do. I appreciate you guys chiming in and getting in on the text and all that stuff today. I appreciate you throwing shade at our picks from last week as well, guys. So,
you should.
Yeah, you should.
We earned it.
We earned that shit. We earned that badge proudly here at this point. But like I said, if we're consistent, then you know what to do, right? But like the sports book and the gambling thing, I know it's legal here now and it's a big deal kind of everywhere, but man, does it seem like it's off the hook. You ever hear the commercials and stuff now? It's like there's so many of them and they go on and on about, you get a deal if you double parlay the same game and this and that and do this and do that and and it's like, holy Jesus. And then it goes at the end, got a gambling problem? Call 1-800, that'd be kind of like, here, buy all this crack, smoke all this, do all this coke and smoke all this crack. Here you go. Look at crack's great. Here, do as much as you can. Got a drug problem? Call 1-800. I mean, it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
1-1 game.
Shoot, we got a tie. I was about to see.
Turner hit a home run, so it's tied up 1-1.
I was about to see if Canada Mike had an update too. Now that you said that, but that's there we go. Now you got a game. So, but yeah, I just the degenerate gambling network that is our sports talk radio here is off the chains.
Every day, every show is doing some sort of gambling.
It is so off the hook, dude. They have eliminated quality programming just to put cats in that do like spreads and shit. And then when I listen to all the ads and they'll be talking about and this, okay, and I'll have a question when we're all done here first that ties into what I'm about to say. But they'll play these commercials and they'll give you all these like the New York team's doing this but their quarterback's out, so you do this, and if you do this, and they're laying that point, and Vegas is calling this, so this is the play and that's the play. And I always listen and think in my head, what play did they? Okay, so they took this team and they took the under, and then I'll watch the fucking game and it'll be the other team and the over, and I just laugh my ass off. It's like you guys are in cahoots. You're in cahoots. You're going out there and you're telling these fools that this is what they should be doing, and then you're doing, and then the opposite is what's happening. It's like it feels like the fix is in.
Well, the fix is, I mean, you got, how many damn Caesar app commercials do we have to see during prime time? I mean, it's like
so
every commercial break, there's a Caesar's app. How much money is Caesar making to basically constantly bombard us with freaking commercials during prime time?
Okay, guys, you're all smarter than I am. So are you, Moose. And this is where my question goes that I just mentioned earlier. So why is it in these commercials they can never ever say the names of the teams or the players? You know, so they'll always say the New York team.
Yeah.
They never say the Giants or the Jets. They always say the home team. They always say their starting wide receiver, their star receiver. They don't ever say their names when they're out, whether they're playing. If this is all on the up and up, why are we acting like grandma's in the room and we're trying to smoke a joint?
Because if they mention the teams and it's on a show or whatever, they have to pay them some sort of stipends or whatever, and they just say don't.
So even in a commercial, so you couldn't even say.
No. Even though like these various things are all in bed with, and they're probably, the NFL is involved on whatever this happened, the NBA's in this happened, the NHL's in this happened on there, but it's just like, oh my God, I mean, seriously, do I need to see how many more? Do I need to see Patton Oswalt on a damn smooth whatever on there on the commercial? Do I need to see Ben Affleck and another dude? How much money is Ben Affleck making off these damn commercials?
I don't know. He shouldn't be making anything off of nothing. That guy sucks. He should be paying us to.
He's getting money paid for doing a commercial, and he's banging J-Lo.
He should have to pay reparations for the movies he's put out and forced us to watch. He should have to pay pain and suffering and mental anguish payments to all of us that strive for beautiful Latin women, and this douchebag gets the most beautiful one on the planet.
I did like The Town on there, and I'm gonna
son of a bitch.
I did like the movie.
It's not even fair. You get out of my house now. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. I
I'm
do
just
like
messing
that
with you.
movie on there. But again, he's made some terrible
Him and Tom
movies.
Cruise can get hit by a bus tomorrow.
The only thing at least Affleck has is he's not a Scientologist, so we'll have to give him
Affleck and Cruise would be a great heel tag team. They're terrible. I'd boo the shit out of them.
As soon as the kids are away in college, I'm going to go into IW.
Yeah, come on over. Come over to IWE.
I want to be heel manager, baby.
Yes. Well, you know you're there to get the other guys over, so whatever you say has got to be about that. But it's always fun.
I will be the heel manager, baby.
Yes. I would love to do that. That would be super fun. I'd love to like run some shenanigans and then cut a promo to set up my guys and make them look like beasts and rip somebody else down.
I'm going to make Bobby the Brain look like a choir boy.
Bobby was as great of a manager he was just as good of a commentator or better. That heel role, he could do it in every aspect of it. By far one of the best, if not the best of all time. Yeah.
Bobby! Where's this the snake? Jake the Snake.
Dude, I was watching some of that stuff with Jake and Macho, and you start looking at the downfall of Jake the Snake, the end of his in-ring career and all that stuff. Man, that's why that Dark Side of the Ring is does so well. Those stories are so compelling and so crazy.
The best match in WrestleMania 3 is still Macho Man and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Always, yeah.
And then they screwed Ricky the Dragon because he loses the belt the next fucking day.
Well,
that
yeah.
was bullshit.
Well, that was other stuff going on backstage and
that's still bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was. I was like, what? Because they
Just gets a belt, you take him for the next day. Bullshit.
yes, yeah.
Vince McMahon, ball me.
Well, he'll, and back in the day, the answer was like, well, we don't need to put the title on somebody that's good like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we put the belt on somebody that needs the shine. You don't need the shine. So that was always their, it was the same gimmick with Jake the Snake. How many titles that guy ever win? Like, none. But he didn't have to. He was in the main event all the time.
Because he was Jake the Snake.
Yeah. So, like, if you're that good, you don't need the belt like that. It's kind of like, so how are you supposed to, that's a nasty bump. How are you supposed to argue that kind of logic? Now, I think it doesn't make sense to me, per se. I can understand it to a certain extent. But there's very few guys that are like that, that transcend the, the title itself, What in the hell are we watching here? Guys, you should be watching IWE, but if you're watching AEW, that guy almost killed him. He almost died. He almost died, and
just blew his knee out.
And Paige is hurt. He's trying to work through it. I think. I thought he was gonna throw up the red X, but it didn't happen. But I can't believe Pac is not dead. I can't believe he's not dead. That's like a New Jack thing. He's hurt.
Yeah, seriously.
Pac's hurt. It landed on his head, and the ref's trying to help him outside the ring, but he doesn't even know where the fuck he's at. He's hurt bad. That was a gnarly spot. No Death Valley drivers off the top rope into a table or off a ladder into a table ever. That should never be a thing. So that's horrible. Well, those spots weren't too bad for hang-ups over the ropes. They did landed pretty good. Except for Cassidy with the one arm, that sucks you. I think you'd want to get both, but I could be wrong on that. But I think Pac I can't believe there isn't somebody out there. No one threw the X up, so he might be trying to shake it off. But a head neck injury like that shit is scary. What is Jeff Hardy fucking doing? I mean, Matt Hardy doing? Why is he jumping off of tables, off of ladders through tables? He's like 840 years old, and he's got like maybe one vertebrae that isn't fused to the other ones. It's like, what is he doing? These guys are crazy, dude. Now, I get it. I love the entertainment, and it's wild and fun to watch. But y'all are nuts, man. Y'all are nuts, dude. It doesn't make no sense. You ain't got to, oh, well, that hurt. You ain't got to do all that. All that to get that big, ugly poker chip? See, degenerate gambling. Look what it leads to.
Poker chip.
Yes. This is basically all the sports gamblers right now. They're just like fighting for the money that they won't ever get. Because it's always Vegas that wins. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? I still haven't seen Pac. I don't know if he's been written out of the rest of the spots, or if they just said no, he can't go. Because he's off screen completely. I still see a ref down in the area where he went out. You only can see the top of his skull. So I'm just assuming he's with him. I don't know what's going on, but he popped down even lower. He must be like listening to him talking to. So it makes me think he's still laying on the ground and that they need to get somebody out there. But I could be wrong. There could be somebody else over there. There could be something else going on. But that's nuts. He got it. He can't get it off the stupid hook because the way he got it on there. There you go. Yay, he won. Well, we knew you were going to win because they've been trying to push you forever. And they finally got people back, so...
And you got your poker chip.
It's time for you. You got your big fucking cardboard poker chip. And some dude just broke his neck so you could do it. It's fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I love the big spots, but come on, man. Do them safe. Do things that make sense. You could have done that Death Valley driver off the top rope into the table, and it would have been just as effective as getting up on that fucking 12-foot ladder, and you wouldn't have killed a dude. Here it is. Here it is. Oh, my God. He landed on his head, and then the dude landed on his head. It's like New Jack when he fell from the ceiling, and dude landed on his head and crushed his skull. That was on concrete, though. But, I mean, come on, man. And it's like nobody. It's like it makes me wonder if everybody's around it. Where's everybody else at? I know they're trying to get the off screen and stuff, but usually when they pan around like that, you'll see the other guys like laying on the ground, acting all hurt or whatever. Where I don't know. Moral of the story is don't do drivers off the top of a flipping ladder.
Off a 12-foot
A-frame, yeah, it's crazy talk, man. I don't even get it. But we've got some good old family friendly wrestling with nothing too uber crazy over there at IWE, guys. So go to iwegladiators.com and check out in your neighborhood when and where you can check us out. We're picking up more affiliates by the day, and we're rocking and rolling. I'm over there doing commentary and having fun doing some production stuff, and it's a pretty cool show. And like we were joking about being heel managers and goofing around and stuff. That stuff is super fun, and they do a super fun show over there. All those guys are super good at what they do, and so yeah, check it out, iwegladiators.com, and you can check out. Some of you guys might already went over there or just came back. Which that is the only acceptable reason to leave DSR2 without being murdered. But I would suggest you just come here, listen to us, and then, you know, catch IWE whenever you can, because there's millions of ways. Like I said, check them out. J-Dub Belt's YouTube channel, shoot on over there, check it all out. Thanks to Casey, Mike, Ed, Doug, and Kevin for getting in today on the conversations. 313-217, I think. I forgot them all. But thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all. Be good to each other. Treat each other with respect. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Peace out, brothers. Peace.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.